Hi Floss Tube, it's Julie with Reflections Framing and Stitching, back for my 25th video. Isn't that what I said? 25? I think I said 25. 25th video. It is Saturday the 26th of January. It is a stitching day here at the shop, and I have conned some of the stitchers into bringing some of their WIPs so we could maybe have a WIP parade, because Julie has nothing she can show you. Well, okay, I have one thing I can show you. Stick with many. For many years now, and she's brought a few of her WIPs with her, and I think a finish. She finished quilts, so we'll all get to see that, which is exciting. Go ahead, Roxy, tell them what you're working on.
One of the ones, after being snowed in for a week, I decided I should work on some spring things. So I'm working on, you want to hold that? Jardin Privé, and I've just got a good little start on it. It's just a fun, light.
This is a lot of blues. With some
All
pinks,
DMCs.
all DMC.
And
It's called
40
Village Quaker. And you're stitching at 40 count. Is that vintage maritime?
It's on the back of the pattern.
Ah, no, vintage light exemplar. That's really light.
Yeah, for me.
I think for light, well, no, I think light exemplar isn't quite this dark anymore, or light anymore. It's darker.
Okay, and my other one to begin spring is, I don't know which way it goes.
Redbird Fractor from With Thy Needle and Thread.
And let me, this goes on my left, so it goes like this. And I've just gotten the nest started.
Hold it up a little higher.
Okay, there we
It's on Legacy. I didn't write it on here. I'm assuming 40 count.
always.
Legacy. So that is her start on Redbird Fractor. You like that? Sally likes that.
Don't give it to Sally.
Don't give it to Sally. Sally didn't bring any whips.
And
so
then I have,
only the knitting.
I have the one I love stitching on is Scarlet House Smith Sampler, and I'm doing it on 46 count Autumn Gold
Autumn Gold.
with the beautiful silks. They're all wadded up.
She's using all the silk, called for silks, or have you made
No,
any subs?
no,
Nope, no subs this time. All the beautiful called for
And
silks.
this is where I'm at now.
And a little bit closer. Isn't that beautiful? That color, the fabric color is beautiful too.
And I love dark. This is my favorite fabric color. Okay, I'll put that away. And then if you want to just show my finish,
Okay,
I lost a hoop here somewhere.
there's the rest of those. And finally, we have her finish. And you did finish this week?
I did.
This week.
8 days in my house helps.
Oh, I saw that one.
Quilts. Now she stitched this on 40
count
milk chocolate from Hand Dyed by Stephanie. She's changed the outside border color from the, I think it was called for was toffee.
It was called Gold Leaf,
Or Gold
and I
Leaf,
switched
okay.
to apple cider
Apple cider.
and switched the claret to Week's Dye Merlot for the deep burgundies. Show them, lift it higher so they can see those beautiful quilts.
Isn't that pretty?
Yay.
I love it on the darker fabric. It's an awesome finish.
And that's all I brought.
Thank you very much.
I have 10, 15 bags
She
at
has,
home.
yeah, she's probably got a lot more, but maybe we'll do this, if you all like this, maybe we'll do it again maybe once a month or every couple of months, something like that. Maybe Sally will bring something next time.
Thank you.
Thanks, Roxy. So other Linda doesn't want to be on film, so I will show her piece. It's the Quaker Easter egg from Bent Creek. And this is what she has done. What count fabric?
It's one of those Charles Craft. I think it's 27 count.
She thinks it's 27 count linen. It's very pretty. I like the colors.
And I'm just using stash colors.
Stash colors. So she's changing them to suit what she has in her stash.
But very similar.
But very pretty.
Thank you.
Thank you. Deb doesn't want to be on camera, so I am showing you her, I think it's Time and Season sampler from Maura Blackburn. She's stitching it on 28 count even weave over 1. Called 4 colors, Deb? Called 4 colors, which I think are all DMC. Isn't that pretty? What? Oh, Vicky's. Nope, sorry. She's using Vicky's hand-dyed, which you can't get anymore, so we'll pretend it's DMC because you can't get the Vicky's. So, but it's beautiful. Mary also doesn't want to be on camera, so I will be showing her whips to you. I don't know what she has in this bag, but we'll all be surprised at the same time. This one is Merrily, Merrily We Welcome Spring from Blackbird Designs. And she is stitching it on 32 count dapple. Dapple.
Yeah, before you're checking.
And I'm not sure. This must be the upper corner, upper left-hand corner here. And yeah, that's the upper left-hand corner right here that she started. Very pretty. Bye, Deb.
Bye, Deb.
Bye, Deb.
Very pretty.
Chorus now.
It's like, good night, John Boy. So that was her Merrily, Merrily. She keeps it in this, I don't know if you've seen these Yazzie bags. They're really nice. They've got the clear pocket on the front. Got a handle on it. They're nice and big. You can fit a lot into it. They come in the aqua, purple, pink, pink of green, and a black. And they're pretty reasonably priced for a bag like that. Her next piece looks like the Linen and Threads Mystery from 2017. Give me a second here. To get it out. Oh, I dropped something on it. Yeah, there's the 2017 mystery sampler. And Mary is using all one color. It's can't speak. Carrie's Creations Phantasm, which is teal and purple, and I'm going to take it off here so you can see a little bit more. That's isn't that pretty? I think maybe it's supposed to go this way though. Now that I'm looking at it. Isn't that pretty? Those bees are awesome. Isn't that pretty, guys? Hold, please.
And then I said, well, I'll look right back real quick because that's so different. And even harder. But
All right. Next, what do we have? Looks like another maybe mystery sampler through the... Oh no, this is the painted orphans. And she has one orphan done. This is from, I'm drawing a blank, Ship's Manor. Ship's Manor, and it's a monthly mystery sampler. And a couple of the ladies are working on it. And she has house number 1 done. Okay, another customer. I'll be back. Okay, next up for Mary is the wishing tree from Long Dog.
But it's off one.
Colors look entirely different in person than they do in this picture. Mary did make one change. She does not like corn husk as a color. Cannot stand corn husk, so she did change the corn husk to something else. Isn't that pretty? And that border is wild. Love that border.
Pretty.
I'm trying to put everything back the way you had it, Mary.
Okay, don't worry about it. Not all the way back.
I really wasn't trying. I mean, I was trying, but I wasn't getting it there the way she had it.
And you'll see a drop down or just type in your window.
Okay. Moving on. Pretty blue bag. Oh, Mexican band sampler from Needlework Press. And looks like she's just got this top part. Okay. Right here. Going. I'll be right back. Let's try this again. So there's where she's at. Let me put this behind it.
Sometimes you just need
Very pretty. And again, that was Mexican band sampler. Isn't that pretty? These are Mary's. She didn't want to be on film. All right, and Mary's last one. Drum roll, please. Ah. Repeat the sounding joy. Kathy Barrick design. I think she's just started this one, maybe January 1st. So I'm not sure the orientation of this. I'm going to assume it's this way. So not a lot to see. I can imagine one would need a big break from all that black. That's a lot of black. But I had the Kathy Barrick trunk show in here, and she had that one as part of the trunk show, and it is stunning when it's done. So it's worth all that work with the black, but yeah, it's a lot of work. So that's Mary's bag of goodness that she brought. I think this was her. I think this was her floss too. for Marilee. Let me get this. I'm going to pause while I get this put away, and I'll be right back. Okay, I'm back with Mary again. This is her quilts that she's doing. And I think she pretty much kept the color, outside color of the border the way it was supposed to be. She's doing it 32 count, Mary?
I didn't have access to a lot of, by that time, most of the people that
Looks entirely different than what it does on Roxy's fabric. Still stunning though. And then Sue is working on Merrily Merrily We Welcome Spring.
Oh, is that Merrily Merrily?
And how many of you are doing it? Sue and Roxy and Mary. Janice, who isn't here today. Sandy, who isn't here. So at least 5.
All on different fabrics.
All on different fabrics, different.
Ounce.
I know Sue's made one little change to this color here. She didn't like how pale the called for color was. So she darkened it up to the, I don't know, the next step up or something. Or down. Whichever way it would be. But.
after time.
And didn't we, Sue, you changed the putty too, right?
Rocky changed putty.
Yeah, I think both of them have changed the putty because it wasn't showing up on their fabrics.
And my grandson.
Mine shows up on mine, 'cause I'm doing it on Dapple.
Yeah, yours would show up on Dapple.
Yeah.
I just called everyone chicken shits because no one wants to be on film. So this is Shirley's Hawk Run Hollow.
Calling it on
Call-
film.
On film, all right, video, whatever you want to call it. She is finishing her last block.
2-year plan.
It's only taken 2 years. But, you know, it's more better than I'm still on block number 5, or 4, block number 4, so I can't say anything.
6 months and 2 years.
But it's absolutely beautiful.
On the 4-year plan.
And did you decide, are you going to fill in that black box or no? She's not going to fill in probably this one is supposed to have a completely filled in black, and we think she's probably going to not put it in black.
Otherwise it'll be on the 3-year
So,
plan.
otherwise it's the 3-year plan, she says. But it's very pretty. You're doing a beautiful job.
Love it.
Carol.
I'm coming. Do you really want to hear my son's
We all want to hear your sad story. Stories are good. Don't trip over the cords. Gotta come over
I don't
here.
have to be on there, do I?
Can you, please? Please?
Oh, I look like my mother.
That's okay. I look like my mother too.
Nobody else knows her, so it's okay.
Yeah, you're beautiful,
Oh, yeah, really. Hi.
Carol.
See? I look like my
You
mother.
look like your mother.
All right.
Well, then your mother was beautiful.
Actually, she was.
Well,
when she
okay
was
then.
younger.
Well, okay then.
All right. We have
Okay, what do we have?
this project.
What's the name of this project?
Oh, shoot, I didn't bring the thing. It's a
stocking.
stocking. Bent Creek is the designer. And it is a Christmas stocking that I'm trying to make Christmas stockings for all my children.
Okay, except for she told me that she's not sure whose name is going to go in here
I'm
yet.
going to put it on in Velcro.
Something to do with
The kid,
girlfriends coming and going, and she's not sure who will be here at Christmas next year.
This is my sad one.
Okay,
This was the first Christmas stocking that I started.
mine, all mine, from X's and O's. That's cute. I've
And
never
I
seen this
was
one.
doing it for my son-in-law, who was the most wonderful son-in-law anybody could ever ask for.
Okay,
And I got that much done.
isn't that cute? He's adorable. And
He
what
died.
happened? He did.
And I
He
just
passed away.
cannot bring myself to work on it. So I'm looking for a ghost stitcher.
I'll bet you can find one.
Yeah, probably could, couldn't I?
But that's
Maybe
really
someday.
cute.
Maybe some. It was so Kevin. The mine on mine. That was just so Kevin. And I just,
Well, you know, dragons do like their hordes. Hordes with
There's
a
a
D.
D on the end.
Not whores, hordes.
and then my other project is called Two-Star Santa.
Oh, that's cute.
Doing that for me.
I borrowed that pattern from Lori Phelps. She just very nicely loaned me the pattern,
Okay.
and I
Just
got
top
that
or-
much done. It doesn't make any difference, it's
Doesn't
square.
make any difference? Okay.
Don't have to live with them.
That's all she's got.
That's it. Well,
Okay.
that's all I got with me.
All right. Well, yeah, we know you have more at
We don't
home.
want to talk about the 80s stuff that I have.
Did you not read the email that said, bring your whips?
Did you not get my
I
email
did.
that said I'd have to have a flatbed truck?
I said you could just bring a few.
No, I actually forgot about it. Oh, wait a minute. This goes in here.
Okay, was
All
that
right, am I
someone
done?
coming in? Yes, someone's coming in. I'll be back in a minute. Okay, back again. Rodney wanted to share. He's on his last, no, 11th block of his Christmas at Hawk Run Hollow. He's been working on that black for, I think, a year now. He says it's a couple months, but it feels like a year, I'm sure. But it's going to be beautiful when it's finished. Absolutely beautiful. Isn't that? Ready? Can you reach it? The T-Rex arms don't stretch that far. Okay, and Nancy has the flood. She also did not want to be on film or video. Paulette Stewart, The Flood, autographed by Paulette one of the times that Paulette was in the store or at retreat. And this is how far she's got. This is a stunning, I have seen, we've had Paulette's trunk show in the store before, and I have seen this in person, and it is just stunning when it's done. But that's a big boat, and it takes forever to stitch it, but it's beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. And that does it for, I think, the stitchers. Oh, no, Linda said she had some things. Linda has a few, other Linda, not first Linda, other Linda.
The old Linda.
Old Linda, really old. Really
anciently old.
100 million years old Linda.
Almost, getting close. Of course, the pattern is down there.
We probably would like to see the pattern. I think we probably would.
I'll get you the pattern. No, that's.
Well, not the actual pattern, but a picture of the pattern would be nice.
I don't know where it is.
Because
It's in that red thing.
this isn't going to tell us much right here.
Oh, especially when you have it upside down. There we go.
Okay, here we go. Peace on Earth from Kathy Barrett.
Just started.
And it looks like she's stitching it on Earth and Lugana, 28 count.
Thanks to Dan.
Probably got this when we had the trunk show.
After, yeah, that's where I got the,
Okay, and this must be his wing here that she's working on.
top of this one right there. Or her. It may be a her.
It could be a her. I think it was Bendy Stitchy that said people tend to, when they're talking about an inanimate object and assigning gender, most people assign a male.
That's because male, the he is has been our default in the language for.
I suppose so. So we're going to say it's a her.
I am.
Girl power.
Owlette. It's an owlette, not an owl.
You need to name her though.
Oh, I'll come up with a name.
Owlette works.
No, that's,
No, Owlette doesn't work.
Aulettete, owlette. Okay, I know that would be owlette.
okay, we'll go here.
Okay.
Because I did not know that this was going to be a public display. I thought it was just going to be among friends.
It is among
friends.
friends. They're friends.
This is,
You may not know them, but I do.
you're
And
lucky.
99% of them are really nice.
It's that 1%.
It's that 1%. There's always got to be
But
that.
we'll never tell.
I'm kidding. I'm kidding. You're all wonderful people. Okay, is this right side up? Or does it, which way does it go? Is this the,
Yes, this is the
so,
top.
okay.
This is the pattern.
The
Except
coffee cup?
it's a coffee mug. It means tea, but I don't do tea, and I have a wall that
I
has
don't do tea
coffee
either,
stuff
because
on
you know what teas taste like?
it. No. Do I want to know?
Horse pee.
Oh, no.
That was Mountain Dew.
No. Tea tastes like horse pee. Bitter horse
so-
pee. There we go.
This is the coffee. The steam is brown
steam.
rather than green
Okay.
to denote coffee.
Coffee rather than horse pee.
You're so fun.
Because, if you've ever seen horse pee, it's kind of greenish, yellow.
Yes,
It's usually rather dark.
Looks like Mountain Dew.
Anyway, that's very pretty. How come you haven't finished it?
Because
I think you should declare this your year of whips and finish them all.
I'm going to. It's been a long time since I've been able to stitch, and so this is Frosty Flakes from Little House Needleworks. and I've had that about probably 2.5 years,
Is that all?
and I've made a lot of progress.
Little progress, a little bit. We have a border,
Sort of.
sort of. I like your choice of fabric.
Thank you. Here it is. I do have the pattern.
Oh,
You are so fortunate
I
that I
am.
have
I am so
patterns.
fortunate. Okay.
This,
French Country Spring Basket from JBW.
I was going to do that for the retreat project, and I didn't.
The exchange, you mean?
The exchange, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and I didn't.
And you didn't.
But I got this much done, and I don't have any idea.
Give me this. I'm going to hold it up behind there so light doesn't show through. There we go.
You ever had a bee sting?
That's cute. I like it.
Thank you.
But it's not finished. So,
It isn't?
well, that's probably why we're referring to it as a whip. But
That could very
it's
well be.
close to being finished. You need
It's
to.
very close.
You need to get that done.
I need to prioritize.
You do.
Now, here is my major time. This one I have spent hours and hours and hours
Hours and hours
looking at.
looking at. It's not stitching. Just looking.
Am I supposed to? Well, you didn't tell me I was supposed to stitch.
Well, most people do tend to start anyway. Rovaris, I'm not ever sure. It's the cardinal and the blue jay,
Yes,
I would say.
well, sort of. And if you can figure out which edge is up, this is such a major.
Okay, we're going this way. So, this right here, I think is maybe the start of the cardinal.
Could be.
It's an excellent start.
Thank you. I've worked diligently. At
Hours
that.
and hours.
Hours. Well, maybe partial
And hours. And hours.
That's it.
Well, thank you for
And
sharing.
my things I compare to a first grade art project to the Rembrandts and the Picassos that other people do.
It's all
But you know what?
beautiful.
It's what I like.
And it's what you like, and that's the important part. Is you got to like what you're doing, or
Well, you don't do
Or
it.
you don't do it.
Maybe that's why I don't do some of these, because I don't like them.
I don't know. You'll have to examine your
My mental.
and figure that out.
Okay.
Maybe meditate on it.
Because that'll get a lot of stitching done.
Center your chi. I don't know what a chi is, but it sounds
It's
good.
tea, and
Just-
you just
no,
said
not tea.
No, chi means no chai.
Chai is tea. No, but you want to center your chi.
If I find it, I'll say
Go ahead.
goodbye. Thank you.
Give it a try. Dan sent a couple things for me to share. because I told him I was doing this wild and crazy thing. So, and if any of you can find his chart, he would appreciate it, because right now the chart and the floss are missing.
I'm not kidding you, my 38.
But that is his second farm that he's doing. I can't remember the name of it, but it's the companion piece for the scenic farm that everyone is looking for. And he had this up in his bedroom, but he has no idea where the floss and the chart are. So it's missing. If you happen to run across it, let him know that you found it. It's really pretty. Thank you, Rodney. Isn't that pretty? That's pretty. And then he also sent maybe, I thought he sent, he did, his hawk run. He's about done, people. He's got, his hawk is done. He just has some trees to do up in here, and then he's finished.
A lot of them I really enjoy. Some of them I'll open it up and start reading them, and I think.
And then the framing will start. Isn't that pretty, though? There's a lot of work in there.
But she's prejudiced.
A lot of work. I am prejudiced, so. But he's done an excellent job. Shall we look at his back? It's not bad. His back's not bad. And I'll be right back. And we're back. Well, not we. It's just me now. The stitchers have all gone home for the day. And it is now quiet in the store. It was a good day. Everyone had fun. I am not sure how the first half of this video is going to go, because it was kind of a cluster. But hopefully you at least get to look at some of the finishes or the WIPs that they brought in, and can enjoy those and just ignore the fact that it was kind of sketchy. So I think when I left off, I had shown you Dan's WIPs. I have mostly been working on the retreat piece, so except for the one I left it here at the shop last weekend, so I worked on corners and curves for a few minutes last weekend. So I will show you that here in just a second. But otherwise, I haven't done much except for the retreat project, and I am working on a design also in my spare time. So not a whole lot of stitching has gone on. But I was watching, who was I watching? I was watching Off the Grid, Caroline from Off the Grid Needle Arts. This morning or yesterday morning, one of the two, and she was, maybe it was this morning. She was working on her corners and curves, and I, she started down in the lower right corner. I've started mine in the upper left corner, and I don't know, I think she's using the called for colors. I converted mine to Carrie's silks, so my colors are a little bit different. I think hers are maybe a little pinker than what mine are. But for those of you who aren't familiar, this is Corners and Curves from Rosewood Manor. And this is, I'm not very far, but this is what I've got done so far. And since the last time you saw it, unless you saw it, my post on Instagram, I've got this part here done since the last time I showed this on a floss tube. And let me tell you, this little bugger here took me hours to do, because it's like 2 stitches of one color, and then 5 stitches of the teal, and then it's 1 stitch of green and 1 stitch of yellow, and then back to 2 stitches, and then 5 stitches, and then 1, and then 1, and then 2, and it was tedious and very time consuming, but it came out okay. But it was a pain to do. So I'll come over here. There's another 2 of these little motifs here. So I'll come across there, and then there's, see, they come across there. I guess maybe I only have 1 more motif there. And then I've got a couple of these little things here. And I guess I need to put the center part of that flower in. And then I get to do this scrolly, fiddly stuff there, which looks like it'll be fun. So, but I don't know when I'll get back to that, because I do have to get that retreat project done so I can get it finished and figure out if I have to make any changes on it. I did show it to my friend Sherry, as I was a little worried that no one's going to like it at retreat, and which is always a concern of mine. And so far I haven't had any complaints, but you never know. And she thought it was adorable, so hopefully everyone else will think so too. That is all I have for WIPs or anything that I've stitched on. Now, that being said, a lot of things have jumped into my, I keep a little file in the file cabinet up at the front counter of charts that I want to add to my stash. And I noticed that my file was getting a little full, so I thought maybe I would show you what has hopped into my little file of things that I want to add, which I have no business doing. I noticed that a lot of y'all are stitching from stash, and so I'm like, no, I'm gonna keep going, because once Dan retires, we're not gonna have any money, and then I will have to stitch from stash. But right now, while we've got money, I'm going to go ahead and get whatever I want. So this is what's jumped in there. Oh, in the last 5 or 6 months. Could be longer, I don't know. I have been looking at this piece, this chart, since it came out, and it's a very simple. It's mostly an alphabet, but there's something about it that I really, really like, and I don't know if it's the colors or I don't know. Anyway, it's called Strawberry Alphabet Sampler from Chessie and Me, and I just love that one. I don't know why. It's very simple, but I like it. So that's what I'm going to do. It's going to go home with me eventually. Esther Edison, also from Chessie and Me, is in that file, which came home from market, I think, last year. And I talked about how much I liked it then. So, and of course, y'all have heard me talk about Anna Grader. So she's still in the file. She hasn't gone home yet, but she's making her way there. This is I don't know how you say their name properly, so pardon me for fracturing it. Sticky Dean von der Weyenberg, maybe. This is called Julia. It's in a CC sampler. I think that's just gorgeous. Absolutely stunning, in my opinion. Red and black. Who doesn't like that? It's only 2 colors. So yeah, that's going home at some point. Sampler's Not Forgotten, and I can't remember if this was probably 2 years ago at market, and I have been looking at it ever since then, so it finally went in the file. BG 1874. I love the fact that it's a horizontal sampler. I like all the softness of the colors, the little motifs, the different, fonts. It just, I don't know. It rings all my bells. So that one is in that file. In all things be exceedingly diligent. This is probably, that's part of it. That's the other part. I've seen this one stitched up. This doesn't do it justice. So, take my word for it. It's much better in person. This one, excuse me. Sampler Cove does not design anymore. But I have stared at this one probably since shortly after we brought cross stitch into the shop all those many years ago. And so it finally has gone into the drawer and we'll be going home. Midnight in the Garden. And it called for Vicki Clayton's fibers, which of course are not available anymore. So I'm going to have to try and figure out what colors I want to do it in. Whether I want to just use all one. Originally it was like four different colors. Purples. I think they were maybe all purplies. Purples and blues. I don't know. But I do like it. Drawn thread, stars. Again, I'm not, I love the houses. It's a simple design, but I really like it. So it's going to go with me. And then the only new thing is the Dog's Declaration from Ink Circles. I just think that's pretty. Uses Valdani threads, and I've got them on order, but they're all back ordered. So, and I have no plans to start any of these anytime soon. I would like to finish some things before I do that, and I don't know that I'll be finishing anything anytime soon, but sometimes things go out of print, and I don't want those to go out of print before they get into my own stash, so they're going to go home with me. Someday I will bring them back and kit them all up, but for right now they're just going to go home and go into the file cabinet and live happily together. So that's everything I have to show. Just fill you in a little bit. It's been a long time. It was before Christmas when I made my last video, and we're at the 26th of January now. So Christmas came and went. We had a decent Christmas. It wasn't anything wonderful. It was supposed to be the Christmas that everyone was home, and then Abby switched jobs and ended up having to be on call, so she couldn't be further away from home than 20 minutes, and we're a good hour from where she worked, so she had to stay there. So, and then Amy and Emily were, while Amy was doing all of her internship interviews, and so she was flying around the country quite a bit before Christmas, and she just decided she couldn't afford a trip home at that time, so she didn't come for Christmas. So it was just a quiet, we went over to Adam's one day, and they came over to our house one day, and we did get out to Abby and Travis's and had Christmas out there one day. So we had 3 Christmases, and they were all great. It just wasn't the Christmas that I was hoping for, but it was good. And New Year's came and went. That was kind of tough. New Year's Eve, we had to put our one dog to sleep. She had been kind of going downhill, and she was 15. She was losing weight, and she was losing her bladder and her bowels, and it was just time. And so that was also the day we went out to Abby and Travis's, which I think was good because it gave us something to do other than sit at home and cry all day. I'm lucky that our vet is right next door to the shop, and I know that he comes in on Sundays to do his books, and so I'd called him Saturday night and asked him if he wouldn't mind meeting us and taking care of that for us, and he knew it was coming, and he said that was fine. And after we left, he came over a couple days later, and he let me know that after we left that day, he had a chance to kind of poke and prod around. He didn't do an autopsy, but he poked and prodded in places that you really can't when they're alive, and he found a tumor on her liver. So it was the right decision, but it doesn't matter. It's still a very difficult thing. So there's that. Rags is not dealing with the loss of Callie very much, which is surprising to me because she didn't really like Callie so much. In fact, she would attack her on occasion if Callie happened to look at her cross-eyed. And so I've been very surprised at how much she is grieving the loss of having Callie around. She's not eating. She doesn't want to go outside by herself. She doesn't want to stay home by herself. So she's been coming to the shop. We're working on teaching her not to bark at the customers when they come in. And if I can't get her to stop that, then she's going to have to learn how to stay home alone, because I can't have her. Her bark's way worse than it sounds, way worse than she is. But it scares people because they think she's going to attack them, and she's not. She's more scared than they are. But I understand they're not liking that. So we've got to figure that out, and probably in the spring we might end up getting her a puppy. I think she'd probably deal better with a puppy than another full-grown dog. But if she's still grieving, still like she is now, then we'll probably end up getting a puppy in the spring. But I'm not housebreaking a dog in the wintertime. It's going to be, I think they said, wind chills of minus 30 to 50 below this next week. And no, I'm not training a dog in that kind of weather. So yeah, New Year's we didn't do much of anything on New Year's Day. I started working down in the pit of despair, and have made some good progress. I still haven't found what his chart and his floss. But I'm not done going through things down there. So that's what I will be doing all day tomorrow, is working down in that room. Excuse me. Which is why I should not be taking anything else home with me, but oh well, it's going home anyway. I'll find some place to put it. I have a tickle. Okay, so New Year's came and went. It was a non-event for us. We don't really do anything. Been working in the crap room. And Amy and Emily came. Amy had a interview in Topeka, Kansas, which is a couple hours away from us. So she and Emily flew in on the 17th of January and then drove down to Topeka and came back the 18th and they were here over the weekend, last weekend. And we had a good visit, and they got engaged over, one of her interviews was in Albuquerque, and apparently Emily decided that was the time to ask Amy to marry her. So they are engaged. Probably won't get married until sometime after Amy's internship is over. So that was fun. While they were here, we did all manage to get, the kids all managed to get together, and we went out for lunch for my birthday, which was the 23rd. And that was nice. That was the best gift I could have had, was to have them all together, and they all played nice in the sandbox, which is always a good thing. We played a lot of dominoes and just had a good time together, which I thoroughly enjoyed. So that was last weekend. Amy is now done with her interviews. She ended up with a total of 16, I believe. I think 3 of them were phone interviews, and then the rest she had to fly to. So she has been in San Francisco, she's been in Albuquerque, she's been in Arizona, she's been in Minnesota, she's been in Michigan, Rhode Island, Boston, Durham, North Carolina, Topeka, Kansas, a lot of places, and she's glad that's over, because it costs a lot of money and they have to pay for that. So that's done. She's got to rank her. They do apparently in the psychology. She's getting her doctorate in psychology, and they do it the same way as they do for physicians. So they'll have a match day. So she now has, I think, 2 weeks to figure out how she's going to rank the different places that she went. And then the end of February will be match day, and she'll find out where she'll be moving to for a year. She's hoping for 2 years, because then she'll have a year of postdoc after her internship. And some of the programs allow them to stay for their postdoc. So that's what she's hoping, is that she'll get to stay in the same place for 2 years, and then she'll finally be done with school at the ripe old age of, I think she will be 28, 29, before she's done with that and can get a paying job, start paying back all those student loans she's got. Let's see, Abby and Travis are doing well. They are working on a floor plan for their house. They're going to break ground, I think, in April, Abby said. So they've gone through a couple revisions so far. The kitchen has had to be revised a little bit. Her work triangle was way big, and Dan and I think, convinced her that needed to be redone. So I think they've done that. Otherwise, they're fine. They're heading to the Bahamas in February. They'll be leaving the same day that we leave for market. And Adam and family are doing well. The girls are doing fine. And yeah, everything's, mom and dad are holding their own. So everything is going well. And that is a life update for you. What else do I want to say? Oh, I do want to say thank you to everyone that sent me Christmas cards and gifts. I'm at this point, they're all at home. I don't have them here anymore. You know who you are, and I do appreciate it. Totally not necessary, but thank you anyway. And as long as I'm saying thank you to everyone who has subscribed. Thank you to anyone who is returning. I appreciate it, and welcome to anyone who is new. Should have done it at the beginning of the video, but I needed to get those. Some of the women were leaving early, so I needed to get that done. Who have I been watching? Well, Caroline from Off the Grid, Pam and Steph, of course, Leslie Hurley, Nikki from Kanicki's. I caught a little bit of, and I don't remember, is it two sassy sisters and a brother, or y'all know who I'm talking about. Caught a little bit of theirs before I had to leave one day. So I have absolutely no notes this time because this was kind of a spur of the moment thing. I know there's a couple new people I've watched, and I'm drawing a blank, so I'll have to go back and look later and mention them next time. Yeah, I think that's about it. Market is coming up. I am taking pre-orders, and I'm trying to put up sneak peeks on my website and the Facebook page as I find them and as I get time. It's kind of a time-consuming. I so wish there was a common place for the designers to just all put the sneak peeks so that the shop owners could not spend so much time tracking them down. I would think it would save them time if there was just a common place that we could go and get the pictures and all the information and put it on our site, and instead of you gotta check Facebook, you gotta check their blog, you gotta check their web page, you gotta check their Facebook page, you gotta check. I mean, there's a million places to check for things. It would sure be nice if there was a centralized location for that, but I don't think that'll probably ever happen. But anyway, I've got a few sneak peeks up. It's a little early yet for a lot of people, but you can keep an eye on that. Let me know if there's anything I can get for you, or let your own shop know if they're planning to go to market. Let them know what you want. Pre-orders are always helpful. It kind of helps you decide, what people are going to like that year. You can't bring everything home, and sometimes you don't always. When you go, you're kind of shopping blind and hoping that you know your customer base well enough that you're bringing back what they'll like. And most of the time I do pretty good, but sometimes not as good. So it's always helpful to get pre-orders so that you can kind of see what's appealing to people. And let's see, I heard Steph is going to be at market this year, and I think Michelle Garrett is going to be at market this year, so that'll be kind of fun. Their minds are going to just explode at everything you get to see at market. I mean, they'll boom. But they better make sure they bring their good shoes and get rested up beforehand, because you don't get a lot of rest while you're there. It is a good time, though. I guess I don't have anything else. I know this is kind of a disjointed video, and I'm sorry for that. And I am sorry I don't have anything new to show you. There just really hasn't been anything that's really come in new in the last few weeks, and y'all have probably seen anything else. So I call this kind of the dead time, the dead zone. January to market is, the designers are busy designing for market and getting things ready for that. There's not a whole lot for a shop to purchase. So this is a good time to go to your store and look through what they already have, because there may be a treasure or two there that you have not noticed before and that needs to go home with you. Otherwise, I am not doing any plans like a lot of you are planning to do, this Stitch 9 thing. No. It's a good idea, but I know I won't stick with it. Stitch from Stash, another good idea. I wouldn't stick with it. So I'm just going to do me, which is stitch what I have to as far as, retreat pieces and models, and stitch what I want in between. And that is just how it's going to be. I am not real good at planning that. Sometimes I was listening to, who was I listening to? I don't know, Magical Stitches, might have been Michelle Garrett. Something about magical stitches, and she has to stitch on something, 1,000 stitches on this, and has to stitch something with a dog or something on that day, and I'm like, ooh. That to me, and this is just my opinion, to me that just makes it sound like a job, like work. So more power to you if that's what you want to do. Great. I'm just going to be here doing whatever tickles my fancy that particular day, I guess. No plans here. I wouldn't follow them, so why make them? With that being said, I am now going to say, hey, have a great weekend. I will try and do a much better video the next time. And until then, you all take care of yourselves, stay out of the weather, and get lots of stitching done. We'll see you next time.